The Kansas City Royals entered the American League as an expansion franchise in 1969. The city originally had a team from 1955 to 67 called the Athletics, but the organization left for the West Coast and became the Oakland A's. In 2014, the Royals participated in their third World Series after an unlikely run through the playoffs. After making it as a wild card team, they missed out on the American League Central title by finishing only one game out of first place. From 2004 to 2012, the team lost no less than 90 games each season and finished in last place 6 times, but things started to turn around in 2013. With a revamped pitching staff full of free agent signings, the team finished 10 games over 500 and entered the 2014 season with momentum. After 29 consecutive years out of the postseason, the Kansas City Royals finally made it back to the playoffs in 2014. They won their first 8 playoff games and took 10 of their first 11 right in the World Series. If beating rival Oakland in the single wildcard game wasn't enough, they ended up sweeping both the Los Angeles Angels and the Baltimore Orioles. With a revamped pitching staff and an outfield defense that seemed to chase down every ball hit their way, the Royals carried the club to their first appearance in the World Series since 1985. However, although they had a 2-1 lead in the Fall Classic, they lost Game 7 at home and 3 of their last 4 games. Some players to watch in 2015 are Eric Hosmer, the first baseman, had an off year as a whole in 2014, appearing in only 131 of 162 possible games. A hand injury and a broken finger led to time away from the field, but he made up for it in the postseason, batting .350 with 12 RBIs, and will now be expected to help get this team get back to the playoffs. Giordano Ventura was arguably the most valuable player to the Royals in 2014. Amazingly enough, he didn't even have a spot in the rotation until the end of spring training. He went from barely making the staff to being the number 2 starter, and with Shields gone to San Diego, he will be asked to step up his game in 2015. Salvador Perez, the Venezuelan catcher, was behind the dish for more starts than anyone in Major League Baseball, making 143 starts in 2014. He has won the last 2 consecutive Gold Glove awards and is arguably one of the best catchers in the game. His durability and knowledge of the pitching staff is second to none, not to mention that the 24-year-old can tear the cover off the ball with his bat. The Royals are in pretty good shape for the years to come with Perez on the field. It is actually tough to predict the 2015 Royals. Last season, no one expected them to even make the playoffs, much less have a 2-1 lead in the World Series while reeling off 10 wins in their first 11 playoff games. Losing the World Series at home was naturally a tough pill to swallow, being so close to winning it all, only to let their home fans down in the end. The line setters do not see the Kansas City Royals as the cream of the crop in the American League division, nor do they give them any good odds to win the Fall Classic, but they are in no worse shape than last year regarding the expectation in Las Vegas. Don't forget that the Bang the Book Betting Center is your best resource for information before you make your weekly assault on the sportsbooks.